if Manchester City can go out and find a forward, why can't Arsenal? Can you understand, James, why Arsenal fans are so frustrated?
Completely understand. If you look at Mikel Arteta's track record since he's arrived at the club, Gabriel Jesus, the only out-and-out striker, and technically you'd probably say he's not necessarily a full-on striker, is he? He plays out wide a lot, so he hasn't really done that. He's bolstered his squad elsewhere. Now, what I would say, look, to counteract a lot of the talk at the moment, last season at Arsenal, without a striker, so to speak, scored 5 goals fewer than Manchester City, who had the most lethal striker in the Premier League. Season before, 6 goals fewer than Manchester City, who won the league. The goals have been spread around the side. Now, there's always going to be focus after you've read the stats. Was it 40-odd shots, only 1 goal in the last 2 games? It's not great. It's not a great record, but Kai Havertz, yes, OK, he's had a difficult week, so to speak. He might not be necessarily that number 1 striker, but he still scored 7 goals this season. Let's talk about Benjamin Sesko. He scored 7 goals this season as well. So it goes back to what Diamond says about the right player. All Arsenal fans will want a striker, absolutely. They want that clinical player. And actually, the word clinical is something that Mikel Arteta has spoken about so much, particularly over the last couple of years. And every time I've sat down and spoke to him, it always crops up. And he always demands out of his players to be more clinical. They have proved over the last couple of seasons they've done that pretty well in comparison to Manchester City. This year, it seems to be just highlighting it that much more. But wanting a striker is one thing. Getting a striker is a completely different thing. And again, do Arsenal fans want Arsenal to rush this and just grab someone in?
Yeah, but it's not a rush. This has been window after window after window.
Which they
We've
will,
spoken about Arsenal
but Mike, they
getting
will be looking at that. This will be in their plans. As Dharma said, they do have long-term plans where they're constantly reviewing and looking at the availability of certain players. Now, that might be a Victor Gyökeres, who's lighting it up for Sporting, potentially looking at his next move, but that unlikely will be this month. But if they're getting word that maybe a player like Gyökeres is available in the summer, they're going to wait until the summer to get him. So there needs to be an element of a
better chance of winning the Premier League. Manchester City, who've dominated it 6 out of the last 7 years, are off it. Arsenal fans must be thinking, this is our chance. Get someone who can stick it in the net. And they haven't done it.
Totally agree. If they can do, they will do. But if that player's not available and they can't get the deal done, then they can't get the deal done. They certainly should be trying, though. I totally agree with you on that. They should be trying. They have got an opportunity, and they are trying. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, we're not saying they're not dipping into the market.
Arsenal aren't just sitting. They aren't just let the transfer window elapse. We're not looking. Of course they're looking. Every big club looks, but at the end of the day, when a season finishes, no club worth their salt is going into the summer thinking, do you know what? Let's go massive in January. They don't do that. They look summer transfer windows 1, 2, 3 years ahead. And that's what Arsenal will be doing.